like your question? We're talking about your question. Good question today.
Pie. We can't talk about pie.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
Injury situation to start with, as usual, please. Injury situation to start with.
Yeah. In this moment, not too big problems. No new big problems, but could be big enough that we have to change a few things. Adam Lallana is a little bit in doubt. He's here. He trained yesterday with Jordan and had not the normal training, and his little issue. But we have to see. We have to wait until the training today to see. It's a little bit muscle. It's only in the last game. Man U game. We took him out not because, but afterwards he needed a little bit longer to recover, and now we have to see if we had time enough to bring him back. So I think that's the only new one. From the other side, no, nothing, no players back or something like this.
You've talked quite a bit about Daniel Sturridge needing a clear run, some time to get fully recovered. You've said that you have maybe a little bit of a problem with patience sometimes. How is he actually progressing? Is he coming along well? Are you happy with the way things are going?
I'm happy about other things, to be honest. I have to take it like it is. I can't bring Russia in this situation. So it's the last, I would say, 4 days were really good. He could do what he had to do, and so in this moment he's on a good way, but it still needs time. I can't change it, and so it's nothing really new in this situation. It's training. But to be honest, the last 4 days were good, and hopefully he can do like this for the next 4 or 5 days, and then again we spoke about similar things, and then it would have been 10 days, and then it's better than only 2. So we have to see where how the situation is, and then we can hopefully decide if it's time for him.
You could maybe do with more options up front now, because we understand that the club are talking to the possibility of Alex Teixeira coming in from Shakhtar Donetsk. Can you tell us anything about that?
No.
Is he the type of player that you would like to see coming in?
I thought I answered when I asked, can you tell anything about that? And then I said no, and so, no, I have nothing to say about this. We could talk about a lot of players in the world, and I could say, if we had time for this, what qualities they have, but there's nothing to say in this moment.
Simon, we'll come back.
You're out. Be careful with your question. Yeah.
I'll try and get one answer. It may appear to some that perhaps you are looking for new players in this January transfer window, which would be different to when we spoke just before Christmas, when you said that it wasn't the window for you. So has something changed?
Yeah, our situation changed, obviously. You saw it. But I think I always said that if our situation changed, then we have to change the opinion. The January window is not the best time. If you're under pressure, everybody wants prices where I think, are they crazy or something like this? And if not, you should not do it because of the situation. If you take a new player now, we have 2 days to the next game, 4 days to the next game, so it's not a perfect moment. That's how it is. And my opinion didn't change in this game. But, of course, we have to watch the market. We have to think about what makes sense for us now, plus for the summer. And if we find a solution who fits for both transfer windows, winter and summer, and a player who could help us maybe as soon as possible, as quick as possible, then of course we would try it. But that's all. That's what we. Was a little bit different with Stephen Corker, but of course, Stephen, since he's here, he does really well. We gave him the 90 minutes with the U21 in the cup game at Leeds, which was absolutely good. I saw the match, and so he's on a good way, but he never played with the team together. Now then you see the problems. You can say, okay, come on, put them all together, bring players from all over the world, or let them train a few days together. And now we are in a training moment where we try to help him to feel more comfortable in the situation, because he didn't play. I think last game was 6 weeks ago or something like this. So he's not in a real rhythm. That's the problem always. But of course we are. That's what I always said. We watch the market, and so. We will see if something happens. A few days to go. That's it.
But has something specifically changed in your mind from 3 weeks ago to make you think about a more forward player?
No, nothing changed in my mind or my opinion. If there's a good player who could help us, and we see a longer. Time to work together, not only for 3 games and then all the other come back and all the things. Then we think about it. That's all. Maybe we do something. If it's possible, we would try to do something what we usually want to do in summer. That's all. If the situation is then okay with all player price, I think we shouldn't ignore this. And then we think about it. That's all. That didn't change.
Disregarding what happens in the January transfer window, what's the solution for you to try and improve the chronic lack of goals at the moment?
First of all, to go on. Great chances. How is that? Creating of chances is the mother of the goal. So we have to create chances. We have then. The more often we are in this situation, the more often we have to take the right decision. That's what we didn't do often enough. That's for sure. That's a little bit how it always is in football. I think you're long enough in the business you spoke a lot of times about similar things, and it's always to carry on, to go on, and make then better decisions. For this, you need to have more open view. Even in a situation when around the box in the last third, watching, sometimes you can force it. You have to shoot and deflect the ball, goal. It's a goal. It's great, but it's of course a little bit coincidence. But sometimes you have to try this. And a lot in our situation, we have a lot of moments where, if it would have been cooler, more with the open view, then we would have seen that there was a player next to the 6-yard box or something who could make an easy goal. And so these situations we miss too often. That's the truth. But the only way is to carry on. We cannot. In this moment, the boys have to make these decisions by themselves. So and it's better to shoot than not to shoot. That's for sure. To try it than not to try. But at the end, you have to go through, and in a moment when you don't score goals like this, you have to first of all you have to defend very, very disciplined, because it's not, if you concede 2 goals, it's not too easy to score 3. No, that's it. And then if you stay concentrated and if you stay disciplined, then you will find the moment when you have quality, what we obviously have. Then you find the moment when it gets easier. That's all. That's always you have to go through. There always are some teams, they have to work harder for 1 goal than other teams in a different situation.
Can I just ask you about Norwich? I'm sure you've had a look at different DVDs, and they've had some really poor results, but on the day can be really capable. And they've brought in Stephen Naismith from Everton, and it's a big game for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's how Premier League is. You look on the table and you think, okay, 18 points. It's not, of course, not too good. But then you see them playing and think, okay, well, you have to. They had some problems in defense for sure. Less problems in offense. That's not that they. But it's always they are creative. They are quick. There's all what you need, and then they concede easy goals. But they changed this situation too with they took from Wolfsburg Klose from Switzerland. So I know him. He's a really good defender. So that will help. So they can change. So they took the right fullback. That problem on this position because the centre half played most of the time fullback. So they knew about their problems and they tried to solve it. Now we are the first team who have to. Have to play against this new team, and everybody knows about the quality of Naismith. So he's a really good offensive player. I saw him live playing with Scotland in against Germany in Dortmund. Was really impressed, he's always a danger for each defensive line, and so that's what we have to know. But first of all, we have to find our formation, and our formation we have no. It's not allowed to waste time more than we did. That's I said everything would be nearly perfect with being in all cups and things like this with 5-6 points more what would have been possible, but we don't have them. So I think we should try to collect points and see what happens then. And so for this, it's only one information how strong the opponent can be. And it's our job to work that hard that nobody can see how strong Norwich can be, and that's a job for tomorrow.
Jurgen, you've spoken about how Christian Benteke is working to develop his game here at Liverpool, but has it been one of the biggest challenges for you to see where he fits into the team and how he wants to play as well? Biggest challenge in my life? No.
No. That's how it is. You always. That's my job. Obviously, yours is in this knowing a little bit easier because you can watch and say, it doesn't work, or it did work. So that's the thing we have with Christian. Everybody could see he was involved in now against Exeter in 2 of 3 goals. I think really good pass, first goal, perfect play, and then. He was really working hard, player with his name, with his history. Could be bored in a game like this. I couldn't see that. It was from attitude side. It was really, really good. And then he tried sometimes too hard. A little bit of battle with the centre half. That's normal. But he stood cool and tried again. And then in the end, sometimes it doesn't work. But everybody could see he knows where the goal is. That's important. And he has always his situation. He had always his situations, and so that's what he has to carry on. But then at the end, of course, you need in a game, you need not only you need a striker who makes a goal, but if you cannot take him out of the game and say wait until we come. So and for Christian, I saw him playing like this in former times, and to keep the ball for the team to when we play passes and other things, and that's what we have to develop together. And it's not only his job. We try to help him, of course, at the end, that it works perfectly, and that's what we want to do. So I understand that you ask. We don't score enough goals. You have a really good striker, sometimes on the bench. So that's normal that you ask, but we have to think about how it works best for this specific game, and that's what we are doing.
On Wednesday night, you spoke about not putting too much pressure on those younger players, but is there a situation where you could use them to supplement your Premier League squad for the rest of the season? Just put them on the bench, or?
With younger players, you always have to make the decision. Makes it sense that they sit on a bench, or is it better they play in the team where they are allowed to play too? What's the U21 team is so, and most of the time I think it makes more sense that they play football than watching football. And so if the situation is that we say a lot of these young players were on the bench until now, of course. So, and it's good for them being with us in training. It's good for them, but then at the weekend you have to see how it is. So it's not only you can't sit on the bench only because you are young or you are skilled. So it has to fit with the situation. How can we change in the different situations? And then we have to think about if it makes not more sense. For example, that Ocho plays U21. Obviously, after his goal, you think more about him than maybe about other players. But he didn't play too often in the last half year. So, but in this age, most important, training, playing as often as possible. So that's what decision we have to make always. And but how I said after the game, I'm really patient with these guys, and so if they work hard, then they can improve. And it's important that they improve for being a Premier League player in the future. So you always see skills, you always see moments, that's it. But the game is 95 minutes or longer. 99 was Chelsea, I think. And so we have to help them to be prepared for the whole career, not only pick them. There are too often players who made one game and then we will not forget them. That's not that they help us and go back and I forget the name or something like this. I'm not like this. But go, show, go back and work. That's it.
Just on that though, I mean, there is a big gap between under 21s and Premier League. So would it not be best sometimes to take one of your players with you and maybe give them 20 minutes here and there in the Premier League and a game, if the game allows, to help them development, to sort of bridge that gap between 21 and 20?
So we should have taken them all with us to Southampton, or the only game where it would have been possible to make presence. I could take a second bench and say, oh, today it's cool to come. So that's most of the time we had to fight for the result in the last 20 minutes, and it's not the best moment for a young player to come in and with this pressure. So that's how it is. I understand really that you ask this. But for me, it's a longer race. So and they have to. If you are 17 or 18 years old, so we talk about around 17 years career. So and if you end your career with 35, maybe your first goal in which competition. But then game 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's usually not that doesn't play that big role. So why they should care now about it? So it's only to work as hard as possible, as concentrated as possible, as disciplined as possible, to be the best player you can be for the long race who's waiting for you, and which is waiting for you, and that's the thing. It's always they're good enough, yeah, cool, bring them. They were good enough for the game. Obviously, everybody could see they did really well, and then you have to work further on.
Thanks, guys.